we go. The problem of evil and theodicy. Does anyone have any idea what a theodicy is? Uh, Before I get going, I think normally what the model is they have someone present or lecture for an hour, and then there's about an hour of question and answer. But you do not have to wait. I would much rather, if you have something come into your mind or something you want to share or get clarification or a question, just go ahead and let me know, and we'll engage them as we go instead of waiting till the end. How's that? All right. So first, I got the first question. I love the Socratic method and dialogue where I'm not just talking at you for the next hour, but I want us to have a conversation together. And so the first thing I'm going to ask the first question, can anyone tell me what a theodicy is?
I know it, but it's because I looked it up ahead of time. I cheated.
Hey, Gary, good to see you again.
I think I know what it is. Is it like it's like an explanation for why there's evil in the world? Like the problem and evil of evil and then the explanation that Christians give for it, or like,
Yeah,
or
that's
no.
that's right in that's in the arena. And it's we see the word theo for God, of course, there. And this is a defense of the ways of God. And so you'll see this a lot in apologetics or philosophy of religion, those sorts of things. And one of the defenses some people feel God needs is this problem of evil. So we'll talk about the problem of evil, and then I'm going to share with you some of the different approaches people have had to try to deal with it. All right. The Euthyphro dilemma. So even before Christianity, people were already wrestling with this problem about the gods and their roles in our lives. And so this comes from the ancient Greeks in Plato's book, the Euthyphro. And in this book, he records a conversation between Socrates and Euthyphro. And Socrates asks, is an action right because it is commanded by the gods, or do the gods command it because it is right? And they have a whole knockdown, drag him out conversation based on Euthyphro's answers to Socrates, none of which were very satisfactory. If Euthyphro answers morality is based on the gods' commands, then morality becomes arbitrary, connected to the will of the gods. Does that make sense to everyone? So if good and evil is basically whatever God says, God could say something's good one day, and tomorrow he could now say it's evil, because there's not a set standard of good and evil. The set standard is the very will of God. If Euthyphro answers the gods commands what is right, then there is an external standard to the gods which determine good and evil. And in this idea, you have God or gods, and they're looking at some universal template of good and evil and making their proclamations based on this universal standard. But the problem with that answer is you have an anemic God, or you have a God that is answerable to something outside of itself. So this is certainly not the God of the Bible we're talking about. And and so it even makes the gods themselves conform to this external standard. So in this sense, you could have good and bad gods, which I think we certainly did have in Greco-Roman pantheons. Any questions about the Euthyphro dilemma? Okay, onward.